Ryan, an old soldier with a weathered face and calloused hands, walked alone across the endless desert. The sun blazed overhead, turning the sand into a golden sea that stretched to the horizon. His boots sank slightly with each step, and the wind carried tiny grains that scratched his skin. He had fought wars across many planets, but nothing had prepared him for the silence of this place. He paused for a moment and scanned the dunes. For miles, there was nothing but sand and sky. His old rifle rested on his shoulder, but he did not expect danger. The desert was empty, yet something deep inside told him that this day would change everything. As he continued, a faint hum reached his ears. It was soft at first, like the wind, but it grew louder. Ryan stopped and squinted at the horizon. A strange shape began to emerge from the sand. It was a spaceship, small and sleek, coated in dust from years of abandonment. The ship rose slowly, its engines glowing faintly as it hovered above the dunes. Ryan's curiosity overcame his caution. He approached the ship, keeping his eyes on every movement. The desert was quiet, but the ship seemed alive in its own way. Its metal surface shimmered under the sun, and strange patterns traced along its hull. Then, with a soft hiss, the hatch opened. Out of the ship stepped a small cat. Its fur was white and glimmered with a faint glow. Most unusual were its eyes. They were not ordinary green or yellow but bright, shining gold, as if they held secrets of the stars themselves. The cat looked at Ryan, sitting calmly on its haunches, yet there was a strange intelligence in its gaze. Ryan lowered his rifle slowly, unsure if he was imagining things. The cat did not run or hiss. Instead, it stepped forward and gently bumped its head against his fist. Ryan raised his hand in surprise and returned the gesture with a careful fist bump. "Strange little creature," Ryan muttered. He could not explain why, but he felt a sense of trust, as if the cat understood him. The desert wind swirled around them, but for a moment, nothing else existed. The cat turned and padded toward the spaceship. Ryan hesitated, then decided to follow. The interior of the ship was unlike any he had seen. Smooth walls reflected the faint light, and small panels blinked softly. The air smelled clean, almost sweet, and there was no hint of machinery or discomfort. The cat jumped onto a console with agility, pressing buttons with surprising precision. Lights flickered, and a holographic star map rose into the air. Ryan stepped closer. The map showed countless stars, planets, and blinking dots. One dot glowed brighter than the rest. The cat looked at him and then at the star, its tail flicking gently. Ryan understood. The cat wanted him to go there. A soft voice, mechanical but gentle, spoke from the ship's speakers. "Human. Your presence has been requested. The path ahead is dangerous. Only one with courage and wisdom may continue." Ryan blinked. He had faced countless enemies, yet a talking ship and a glowing-eyed cat felt stranger than any battlefield he had known. Ryan looked at the cat again. It meowed softly, a sound that seemed to carry meaning. He reached out and touched its head, feeling a warmth that reminded him of home. The cat purred and nudged him toward the pilot's seat. Ryan hesitated. He had not flown a spaceship in years, but instinct took over. He sat down, strapped in, and the ship hummed to life. The desert outside grew smaller as the engines lifted them into the sky. Ryan held the controls awkwardly, but the ship seemed to respond to his touch as if it recognized his presence. The cat leapt onto the dashboard, eyes fixed on the star map. Occasionally, it pawed at a button, guiding him forward. Ryan felt a mixture of excitement and unease. He had lived a life of rules, of battles, and missions. Now, he was following a cat into the unknown, chasing a mystery that promised danger and discovery. The wind of the desert was replaced by the silence of space, and the stars stretched endlessly around him. As he flew, Ryan thought about his past. He remembered the wars, the friends he had lost, and the worlds he had seen. Yet, he also remembered the strength of humans, their ability to survive, adapt, and fight when hope seemed lost. That thought gave him courage. If humans could endure wars, famine, and destruction, then perhaps he could survive this journey with a small cat as his guide. The ship accelerated, gliding toward the blinking star. Ryan tightened his grip on the controls, and the cat's eyes shone brighter. He realized that the adventure had only begun. Somewhere ahead, beyond the familiar worlds, a secret waited. And it had chosen him to find it. For the first time in years, Ryan smiled. He was not just a soldier anymore. He was a traveler, a seeker, guided by a creature small in size but vast in wisdom. The desert faded behind him, and the stars opened a new path. The cat nudged his hand again. Ryan looked down at it and whispered, "Lead the way." And the cat blinked slowly, as if saying that the journey would test them both, but together, they could face anything. The stars stretched endlessly around Ryan as the small spaceship moved toward the blinking dot on the holographic map. The cat sat on the dashboard, tail curled neatly, watching the star map with sharp golden eyes. Every so often, it pawed at the controls, guiding the ship through the asteroid fields and colorful nebulae that appeared like clouds of fire in the darkness. Ryan gripped the controls carefully, still unfamiliar with the ship. He tried to keep calm, but the hum of the engines and the shifting glow of the instruments made him feel alive in a way he had not felt for many years. The cat's quiet confidence reassured him. It was small, but it carried an air of authority. Hours passed as they traveled through space. Ryan studied the holographic map, noting stars and planets he had never seen. The blinking dot was a mystery. Every jump through a wormhole brought them closer, yet the universe seemed to test them at every turn. Meteor showers forced Ryan to maneuver sharply, twisting the ship with careful precision. Each time he succeeded, the cat tilted its head as if approving, then nudged a button that adjusted their course. Finally, the blinking dot resolved into a planet. It was a small world, wrapped in green forests and bright blue rivers, hidden in the shadows of a larger star. The planet's surface glowed faintly in the light of its sun. Ryan leaned forward, fascinated. The map had led him somewhere untouched by war or civilization. The ship descended smoothly. As they approached, strange signals filled the cockpit. They were faint at first, like whispers in the distance, then stronger and clearer. Ryan realized it was not just a planet, it was a place with a purpose. The cat leapt from the dashboard and paced in front of him. Its eyes glowed brighter than before, as if it had found what it was seeking. Landing was easier than Ryan expected. The ship's engines hummed softly as they touched the surface, sending dust and leaves swirling around them. He stepped out onto the soft ground, feeling the fresh air on his face. The planet was alive with quiet sounds, the rustle of leaves, distant waterfalls, and the gentle hum of the wind. It was peaceful, yet he felt tension beneath the surface. Something hidden waited for him. The cat ran ahead, stopping at the entrance to a stone structure partially hidden by trees. It was ancient, made of smooth, pale rock, with symbols etched into its walls. Ryan approached cautiously. The structure was unlike anything he had seen. Its design was both simple and complex, as if it had been built for humans, but not by humans. Inside, the air was cool and still. Light from small crystals in the walls cast gentle reflections across the floor. Ryan's boots echoed softly as he walked. The cat leapt onto a pedestal in the center of the room. When it touched the pedestal with its paw, a holographic image sprang to life. It showed a group of humans from centuries past, working together to build a hidden colony. The cat's eyes met Ryan's, and he understood that it had led him to something important. A voice spoke from the hologram. It was calm, full of wisdom, and slightly mechanical. "Human who comes after the wars, you have been chosen. This colony holds knowledge and tools that may save your people. But the path is dangerous. Only one with courage and clarity can unlock its secrets." Ryan nodded, absorbing the weight of the words. The cat purred softly, brushing against his leg. He explored the chamber carefully. Hidden compartments opened to reveal old star charts, advanced devices, and weapons unlike any he had seen before. There were protective suits, scanners, and communication systems capable of reaching across light years. Ryan realized the colony had been prepared for an enemy, but none remained. The cat guided him from one section to another, nudging doors and pressing hidden buttons. Outside, the sun was setting, painting the sky in orange and purple. Shadows stretched across the forest, and a faint wind carried the scent of flowers and earth. Ryan felt the thrill of discovery. He had been a soldier, trained for battles and survival, but this was something more. This was hope. Suddenly, sensors on the ship picked up movement near the edge of the forest. Ryan froze. His old instincts returned. He had faced enemies before, and he knew that nothing remained hidden forever. The cat hissed softly, jumping beside him. Its fur bristled slightly, but its eyes remained steady, showing no fear. Ryan whispered to himself, "We are not alone." The holographic map from the pedestal indicated faint energy readings moving toward the structure. Whoever or whatever was coming could be dangerous, but the colony's secrets had been waiting for someone brave enough to claim them. The cat jumped to Ryan's shoulder, looking out toward the approaching figures. Ryan gripped his rifle, feeling a familiar rush of adrenaline. For a moment, he remembered the battles he had fought and the victories he had won. He smiled slightly, knowing that humanity's strength was not just in its weapons, but in its courage and ingenuity. Together, the old soldier and the glowing-eyed cat prepared to face the unknown. The forest was quiet now, but soon it would reveal its secrets. And Ryan understood that this journey was just the beginning of a story that could change the fate of humans across the galaxy. The blinking star on the map was no longer just a dot. It was a promise, a challenge, and a hope for the future. And Ryan was ready. Ryan adjusted the straps on his backpack and stepped carefully through the overgrown path leading deeper into the hidden colony. The cat walked ahead, moving with a grace that seemed almost otherworldly. Its golden eyes scanned every corner, every shadow, as if it could see threats invisible to the human eye. Ryan felt a mix of excitement and caution. He had discovered wonders on this planet, but he knew that nothing valuable came without danger. The forest surrounding the colony was dense, and the sunlight barely reached the ground. Strange vines twisted around ancient stone walls, their roots reaching like fingers into cracks in the rock. Every step Ryan took echoed softly, yet the quiet felt heavier than silence. It was a place abandoned for decades, yet it had not been forgotten. The cat stopped at a small clearing and meowed softly, its voice carrying an urgency that caught Ryan's attention. In the center of the clearing stood a large metal door, partially hidden under moss and vines. Ryan knelt and examined the structure. The metal was old but unbroken, covered with strange symbols he did not recognize. The cat pawed at the door, then looked up at him, urging him to try opening it. Ryan pressed his hand against the symbols, and to his surprise, the door shivered. A soft hum began from within, and slowly, the massive panel slid open, revealing a chamber filled with light and advanced technology. Ryan's eyes widened. Inside were rows of equipment unlike anything he had ever seen, tools that could change the way humans explored space, and machines designed for protection and communication across vast distances. The cat jumped onto a console and pressed a sequence of buttons with its paw. Lights blinked, and holographic screens appeared, showing maps, data, and information about other hidden colonies scattered across the galaxy. Ryan realized that this place had been built for humans, but it had been abandoned before it could serve its purpose. The cat had led him here for a reason. A sudden movement caught his attention. Shadows shifted near the far wall of the chamber. Ryan raised his rifle, heart pounding. Two figures stepped out, their armor dark and reflective, their faces hidden behind helmets. They moved silently, surveying the room. Ryan held his breath. The cat hissed softly but stayed at his side, its tail flicking nervously. Ryan remembered his training. Patience, observation, and strategy were his allies. He slowly moved behind a stack of equipment, taking note of their positions. He realized they were not ordinary humans. Their movements were precise, almost too perfect, as if they had been trained for a single purpose. Yet he also knew that humans had always survived against stronger, faster, and smarter enemies. He whispered to the cat, "We need a plan." The cat meowed in response and tapped a panel with its paw. A holographic map of the chamber appeared, highlighting hidden passages and control panels. Ryan's eyes followed the lines, understanding immediately. The cat was showing him a way to outsmart the intruders. Ryan moved quickly but silently, using the shadows to his advantage. He activated a device the cat had indicated, and a low hum filled the chamber. Lights flickered, and a wall slid open, revealing another corridor. The intruders stepped forward, curious. Ryan waited until they were in the right position, then triggered a second device. A net of energy shot across the floor, trapping them without harm. The intruders struggled, but the energy held firm. Ryan exhaled and stepped into the center of the chamber. The cat jumped onto his shoulder, purring calmly as if nothing had happened. He realized that humans were not always the strongest or fastest, but they were clever, adaptable, and persistent. Even alone, a human could survive against impossible odds with the right tools and knowledge. He examined the captured intruders carefully. Their helmets reflected his face, but beneath them, there were no signs of emotion. They were disciplined and determined, yet they had underestimated a human guided by instinct and a small, intelligent companion. Ryan released them from the energy net, knowing that violence was not the only answer. The cat watched closely, its eyes sharp, ensuring nothing went wrong. The chamber fell silent once more. Ryan felt a sense of pride mixed with relief. He had faced danger, used his mind and experience, and survived. The cat brushed against his leg, reminding him that the journey was not over. There were more secrets to uncover, more challenges ahead, and the galaxy was vast and unpredictable. Ryan stepped deeper into the hidden corridors of the colony. The air was filled with the faint hum of machinery and the smell of old metal. He realized that this place had been waiting for someone like him. A human who could understand its secrets, who could protect its knowledge, and who could continue the fight for survival and discovery. The cat paused at a junction, looking back at Ryan with a gaze that seemed almost human. It was saying, silently, that the path ahead would test them both. Ryan nodded, adjusting his rifle and taking a deep breath. Humans were known for their courage, and he had survived wars that no one thought he could. Now, guided by a small, intelligent cat, he was ready to face whatever this hidden colony had in store. Together, they moved forward, deeper into the unknown. The glowing eyes of the cat reflected the lights of the chamber, and Ryan felt a new determination. The secrets of the galaxy were waiting, and humans would rise to meet them. Ryan followed the cat through the winding corridors of the hidden colony. The deeper they went, the more he realized this place was not just a shelter or a laboratory. It was a center of knowledge, designed to preserve the history, technology, and strategies of humans across the galaxy. Every room held devices, star charts, and data banks glowing softly, as if waiting for someone to understand them. The cat led him to a large hall at the center of the colony. The walls were lined with panels that showed the progress of human colonies long ago. Some had thrived, others had vanished. Ryan noticed patterns in the information, revealing how humans had always adapted, survived, and grown stronger even when the odds were against them. The cat pawed at a panel, and a section of the wall slid open to reveal a hidden chamber. Inside, a single console stood in the middle, surrounded by a low hum of energy. Ryan approached carefully. The console displayed a holographic map of the galaxy, highlighting planets and star systems that were once connected by humans. One planet glowed brighter than the others, showing signs of recent activity. The cat jumped onto the console, nudging it with its head as if emphasizing the importance of that location. Ryan studied the map and understood that this hidden colony was a command center for human survival. The glowing planet marked a place where humans had hidden something critical. Perhaps it was a weapon, a technology, or knowledge that could protect humanity from future threats. The cat's insistence made him realize that he had been chosen not by chance, but because he was capable of understanding and defending the secret. As Ryan explored further, he discovered rooms filled with equipment he had only read about in legends. There were protective suits designed for extreme environments, scanners that could detect life across light years, and communication devices able to reach distant colonies. He realized the colony had been prepared for a time when humans would face a great danger, something that could threaten not just a planet, but the galaxy itself. The cat climbed onto a panel and pressed a series of buttons. Lights flashed across the room, and a door slowly opened, revealing a vault filled with objects wrapped in protective coverings. Ryan carefully unwrapped one of the objects and found a small, spherical device that pulsed with a soft blue light. He felt a sense of awe. The technology was advanced, yet it seemed to respond to human touch, as if it recognized him. Suddenly, a vibration ran through the floor. Sensors on the console indicated movement outside the colony. Ryan tensed, remembering the intruders from before. He raised his rifle and signaled the cat to stay close. The golden eyes of the cat shone with determination. It meowed softly, urging him to remain calm. Two figures appeared at the entrance of the chamber. They were humanoid but wore armor that seemed designed for stealth and efficiency. Ryan could tell they were not ordinary enemies. Their movements were precise, and their sensors scanned the room carefully. He knew he had to rely on his wits, his experience, and the cat's guidance to overcome this threat. Ryan quickly activated a device on the console. A holographic wall rose, obscuring the intruder's view. He moved silently to another panel and triggered a sequence that locked several doors and released a low-energy barrier across the hallway. The intruders hesitated, their movements slowed by the unfamiliar technology. Ryan's heart beat fast, but he kept calm. Humans had always survived by thinking creatively, and now he was using the colony's hidden tools to protect its secrets. The cat leapt onto a nearby console and activated another device. Soft hums filled the room, and energy fields created temporary traps in the corridors. The intruders attempted to bypass them, but Ryan watched and guided the cat's actions. Together, they were a team. His experience as a soldier and the cat's intelligence made them more than a match for anyone trying to steal the colony's secrets. Once the intruders were temporarily held at bay, Ryan examined the vault again. The glowing device pulsed steadily, as if urging him to continue. He understood that this place was a test. The colony had been built to find humans who were brave, clever, and determined enough to protect its knowledge. The cat had been guiding him through every challenge, showing him what to trust and when to act. Ryan took a deep breath and whispered, "We have work to do." The cat rubbed against his leg, ready to follow him wherever the colony led. Together, they moved deeper into the hidden corridors. Each step revealed more secrets, more knowledge, and more proof of human resilience. The sun outside began to set, casting long shadows across the forest and highlighting the silhouette of the colony. Ryan realized that he was not just exploring an abandoned place. He was stepping into the role of a guardian, someone who could ensure that humanity's strength, ingenuity, and courage would survive whatever challenges lay ahead. The cat paused at a junction, looking back at Ryan with steady golden eyes. It was a silent reminder that the journey was far from over. Danger awaited, but so did discovery and hope. Ryan adjusted his rifle, tightened his backpack, and followed the cat further into the mysteries of the colony. Humans had survived wars, famine, and countless threats across the galaxy. Now, with the guidance of a small, extraordinary cat, Ryan felt the determination to face the unknown. The hidden colony had revealed its first secrets, but there was still much more to uncover, and the galaxy's story was far from complete. Ryan moved cautiously through the hidden corridors of the colony. The cat stayed close, tail flicking as it scanned every shadow. The soft hum of machinery filled the air, and the faint glow from the panels reflected in Ryan's eyes. He had learned that this place held secrets of immense value, and now it was clear that someone or something was trying to take them. Suddenly, the sensors on the console detected movement outside. Ryan froze. Two dark figures, larger and more menacing than before, were approaching the chamber. Unlike the intruders he had encountered earlier, these were organized and methodical. Their armor was sleek, almost robotic, and their movements were calculated with precision. Ryan could feel the danger. The cat hissed softly, brushing against his leg. Its eyes glowed brighter, as if warning him that this enemy was different. Ryan's hands tightened around his rifle. He had faced countless threats in his life, but the silence before an attack like this carried a weight he could feel in his chest. Ryan quickly examined the chamber. The consoles, panels, and equipment offered options. He activated a protective barrier across the main hallway, creating a temporary shield. Lights flashed, casting shadows that danced across the walls. The enemy paused, scanning the chamber and trying to find a way past the barrier. The cat leapt onto a console and pressed several buttons with its paw. Holographic projections lit up, showing traps and alternative routes that Ryan could use. He realized that the cat had been more than a guide. It was a partner, capable of making quick decisions that complemented his own experience and strategy. Ryan moved silently to a side corridor. He positioned himself behind a stack of crates, waiting for the right moment. The intruders advanced cautiously, but the colony's technology slowed them down. Automated defenses activated low-energy nets and barriers temporarily held the enemies in place. Ryan's heart pounded, but he remained calm. Humans had survived stronger and faster opponents before. As the intruders struggled, Ryan noticed a small control panel on the wall. He pressed a sequence of buttons, activating another defense system. A low hum vibrated through the floor, and energy beams crisscrossed the hallway, forming a temporary cage around the approaching enemies. They moved carefully, but Ryan had anticipated their path. The cat jumped from the console to Ryan's shoulder, purring softly. Its presence was reassuring, a reminder that he was not alone. He adjusted his stance, aiming his rifle, but he knew that direct confrontation was only part of the solution. Strategy and clever use of the colony's hidden tools were just as important. One of the intruders tried to bypass the energy cage, but Ryan activated a device that projected a holographic duplicate of himself. The enemy hesitated, uncertain which target to approach. Ryan's mind raced as he calculated their next moves. He had fought wars with humans and aliens alike, but this required a combination of patience, intelligence, and quick thinking. Finally, the intruders regrouped, attempting a coordinated attack. Ryan triggered another defense system, causing the floor panels to shift and create obstacles. The intruders stumbled slightly, giving him the advantage. He moved forward cautiously, guiding the cat to press additional buttons on nearby consoles. Together, they created a network of traps that slowed the enemy and prevented them from reaching the colony's central chamber. The cat jumped to the console that controlled the holographic map. It pressed a final sequence of buttons, unlocking a hidden corridor that led to the deepest section of the colony. Ryan understood immediately. The cat was directing him to the heart of the colony, where the most valuable secrets were kept. The intruders would be delayed, but they would not give up easily. Ryan and the cat moved quickly through the newly opened corridor. The walls glowed softly, illuminating panels filled with information about distant human colonies and advanced technologies. Ryan felt a sense of awe. This hidden knowledge had been preserved for centuries, waiting for someone capable of understanding and protecting it. Suddenly, one of the intruders breached the secondary barrier, entering the corridor behind them. Ryan aimed his rifle, but the cat leapt forward and pressed a panel, activating a trap that sent the intruder sliding harmlessly into a containment area. Ryan exhaled slowly, impressed. The cat's intelligence and timing were extraordinary. They reached the heart of the colony. A large chamber held a device that pulsed with a soft blue light. Ryan realized this was the colony's central system, the core of its purpose. The cat jumped onto the device, nudging it with its head. The glow intensified, and a holographic message appeared, explaining the colony's mission to preserve human knowledge and prepare for future threats. Ryan understood now that the cat had been sent to find someone capable of protecting the secret. The enemy approaching the colony was only the beginning. The galaxy contained forces that underestimated humans, but Ryan also knew that humans had an unmatched combination of courage, intelligence, and adaptability. The cat purred and rubbed against his leg. Ryan smiled. He had faced a real enemy, used his mind and experience, and survived. The colony's secrets were safe, for now, and the journey ahead would require both of them to be clever, brave, and determined. Ryan looked at the glowing device and whispered, "We are ready." The cat blinked, as if agreeing, and together they prepared for whatever challenges the galaxy would send next. Ryan stood in the glowing heart of the colony, his eyes fixed on the central device. The cat brushed against his leg, purring softly, as if reassuring him that they had survived the first real test. But Ryan knew that danger was far from over. The intruders had only been scouts. Something larger and more powerful lurked in the galaxy, and it was now aware of the colony's existence. The holographic map displayed faint red signals approaching from multiple directions. Ryan recognized the pattern immediately. It was a fleet, unlike anything he had faced before. Machines built for war, efficient, unrelenting, and designed to eliminate any resistance. His pulse quickened, but he forced himself to stay calm. Humans had survived impossible odds before, relying on courage, creativity, and teamwork. Now, he would have to do the same. The cat leapt onto a console, pressing buttons in rapid sequence. Panels lit up, revealing hidden defense systems built into the colony. Energy barriers, automated turrets, and concealed traps hummed to life. Ryan studied the controls, learning how to operate them alongside the cat's guidance. He realized that this small creature was more than a companion, it was a guardian and teacher, showing him how to use the colony's full potential. Ryan moved to the main control panel and activated a strategic overview of the approaching fleet. Hundreds of dots appeared, moving methodically toward the colony. The enemy machines were organized, disciplined, and relentless. But Ryan noticed something important. Their formation had gaps, weak points that could be exploited if he acted quickly and cleverly. He set to work, coordinating the colony's defenses with the cat assisting at the consoles. Turrets emerged from the walls, aiming precisely at the incoming units. Energy barriers activated at key choke points, slowing the fleet's advance. Ryan used his knowledge of tactics, honed over decades of warfare, to anticipate the enemy's moves and position the defenses where they would be most effective. The first wave of machines entered the colony's perimeter. Ryan held his breath as automated defenses engaged. Blasts of energy lit up the corridors, and the enemy units were slowed, some trapped by the colony's ingenious design. The cat moved with him, pressing buttons and nudging panels that Ryan could not reach in time. Together, they were more than a soldier and a cat, they were a team capable of outsmarting a far stronger force. Despite the initial success, the enemy adapted quickly. Units broke through barriers and attempted to infiltrate deeper into the colony. Ryan realized that he needed more than technology to survive. He had to use his mind, experience, and courage to outthink them. He remembered the lessons from his past battles. Unpredictability, improvisation, and determination were as powerful as any weapon. Ryan triggered a series of hidden traps throughout the corridors. Floors shifted, corridors narrowed, and energy nets sprang into place. Enemy machines became disoriented, slowed by obstacles and redirected toward containment areas. The cat continued to guide him, pawing buttons and activating sequences with precision. Its intelligence and intuition proved invaluable, complementing Ryan's human ingenuity. Hours passed in a blur of action and strategy. Ryan rarely rested, his mind focused on every detail of the battle. He directed energy flows, repositioned barriers, and coordinated turret fire with the cat's assistance. Slowly, the tide began to turn. The enemy machines were clever, but Ryan's combination of human creativity and the colony's advanced defenses proved stronger than sheer force. As the last wave of enemy units was neutralized, Ryan took a moment to breathe. The corridors were silent once more, except for the hum of the colony's systems. He glanced at the cat, which purred and nudged his hand. For a brief moment, he allowed himself to feel pride. Humans were not always the fastest or the strongest, but they were clever, resilient, and determined. That combination had allowed him to defend the colony successfully. The central device pulsed with a steady blue light. Ryan approached it, realizing that the battle had been a test, not just for him, but for humanity itself. The colony's builders had known that the galaxy contained threats beyond human imagination, and they had prepared for the day when a human would rise to meet them. The cat had led him here, guided him, and helped him prove that humans could survive against overwhelming odds. Ryan whispered to the cat, "We did it. Together." The cat blinked slowly, as if acknowledging that the victory belonged to both of them. Yet Ryan knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknown dangers and mysteries, but he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had the tools, courage, and intelligence to face them. He explored the central chamber further, discovering records, plans, and technologies designed to protect humans across distant worlds. The colony was not just a place of refuge, it was a beacon of hope. Ryan understood that he had been chosen to safeguard this knowledge and to ensure that humans would continue to thrive, no matter what the galaxy threw at them. The sun of the hidden planet began to rise, casting soft light through the openings in the chamber. Ryan looked at the horizon, feeling the weight of responsibility but also the strength of human spirit. The cat jumped onto his shoulder, and he smiled. Together, they were ready to face whatever came next. Humans had survived countless trials, and now, guided by courage, intelligence, and a small extraordinary companion, Ryan knew they would survive again. The galaxy's secrets awaited, but so did humanity's ingenuity and determination. And in that moment, he understood that hope, wisdom, and courage were the greatest weapons of all. The battle was over, but Ryan did not feel relief. The central chamber of the colony hummed softly, its lights casting long shadows across the walls. The cat rubbed against his leg, purring, and he smiled. They had survived, but now the true purpose of the colony awaited him. The cat leapt onto the glowing device at the center, pawing at it insistently. Ryan approached, studying the pulsing blue light. A holographic panel rose from the device, displaying images of humans from long ago. Scientists, explorers, soldiers, and leaders all appeared, working together to preserve knowledge and prepare for threats that might arise in the galaxy. Ryan realized that the colony had not been built for a single generation. It had been a plan for humanity itself, a safeguard to ensure survival no matter the challenge. The cat pressed another sequence of buttons. The holographic images shifted, revealing a message from the colony's founder. "Human who has come after the wars, you have proven your courage, intelligence, and determination. You are chosen to protect the knowledge and legacy of humanity. The galaxy is vast, and threats will always exist, but humans will endure. Use this knowledge wisely." Ryan listened carefully. The message confirmed what he had already sensed. The cat had not been a simple guide, it had been searching for a human worthy of continuing humanity's mission. The fist bump in the desert, the guidance through the colony, the battles they had faced together all had been a test. And he had passed. The cat meowed softly and nudged him toward a panel that revealed the final secret. Behind it lay a star map, showing hidden colonies, resource-rich planets, and ancient technology caches scattered across the galaxy. Ryan realized the scale of what he had discovered. Humans were not isolated or powerless. They had allies, hidden knowledge, and tools that could allow them to thrive and defend themselves no matter the challenge. He felt a surge of pride. Humans were known for courage, creativity, and adaptability, and all of these qualities had guided him through the colony. The cat's intelligence, combined with his experience as a soldier, had allowed them to unlock a secret that could change the fate of humanity. The galaxy had underestimated humans, but Ryan now knew that humans had what it took to face the unknown. Ryan spent hours exploring the colony further. He found chambers filled with equipment that could rebuild destroyed worlds, devices capable of detecting life and danger across light years, and records of human history that had been lost to time. Every discovery reminded him of the strength of his species. Humans did not survive by accident, they survived because of courage, ingenuity, and determination. As the first light of dawn touched the surface of the hidden planet, Ryan stood at the edge of the colony, looking out at the forest and the distant horizon. The cat jumped onto his shoulder and looked at him with its golden eyes. It was as if the creature was saying that the work was not finished. There were still mysteries to uncover, still threats to face, and still knowledge to protect. Ryan took a deep breath. The galaxy was vast and unpredictable, but he felt ready. Humanity had survived countless trials, and now, guided by courage, intelligence, and the guidance of a small, extraordinary companion, he knew they would survive again. The colony's secrets were safe for now, but they were a beginning, not an end. He remembered the desert where he first met the cat. A simple fist bump had started this journey, a gesture of trust that led to discovery, danger, and ultimately hope. That moment seemed small then, but it had set him on a path that proved humans were capable of far more than anyone imagined. The cat jumped down and padded toward the console, pressing a few final buttons. The holographic star map expanded, showing Ryan new destinations, each one a challenge and an opportunity. The message from the founder repeated in his mind, "Humans will endure." Ryan felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was no longer just a soldier. He was a guardian, a protector of knowledge, and a representative of humanity's resilience. He whispered to the cat, "We will protect them. We will ensure humanity survives." The cat blinked slowly, as if acknowledging the promise, and curled against his shoulder. Together, they had faced unknown enemies, solved mysteries, and uncovered secrets that could change the galaxy. The sun rose higher, casting bright light across the colony and illuminating the path ahead. Ryan smiled, feeling the weight of responsibility but also the strength of hope. Humanity had faced impossible odds before, and now, with guidance, courage, and intelligence, they would continue to thrive. Ryan and the cat moved deeper into the colony, ready to explore the remaining secrets, secure hidden knowledge, and prepare for challenges the galaxy would inevitably send. Together, they represented the best of what humans could be, brave, clever, and determined. The galaxy was vast, but Ryan knew one truth above all. Humans would endure, humans would adapt, and humans would rise to meet whatever came next. And with the guidance of a small, extraordinary cat, the future was bright. The journey had begun in the desert with a fist bump, and now it stretched across the stars. Ryan looked out at the horizon, feeling both pride and determination. The secret of the colony, the power of human resilience, and the intelligence of his companion had proven one thing clearly: humanity's story was far from over, and its best chapters were yet to come.